We are back and we're going to have Bede Ramacharan talk about VIP, Veterans and Procurement, a little bit about him. He's a retired Army colonel and also the CEO of Indata Tech. So I'm excited. Bede is local here to San Antonio, and I just spoke with him. Super excited to have him here. He served on several capacities and memberships within VIP. And I had the opportunity to actually 2 years ago participate in their START program. And if you are a veteran, if you are in procurement and you have not connected with VIP and been part of their courses, you are missing out. It is one of the best, most intense, in-depth courses that you can take. And additionally, they have a really high success rate of their entrepreneurs that are doing procurement being successful after completion of the courses. And I have several friends who have gone and are doing really well. So I'm really excited to hear Bede speak about all the different programming, his journey a little bit, and what VIP can do for you if you're interested. So Bede, thank you for being here this morning, and take it away.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is really my first experience with a live stream. Normally I speak to a live audience. So I feel like I'm on the set of Good Morning America or something. Now I know how Al Roker feels in the morning when you're talking to a whole bunch of people, but nobody's there. But I'm really excited to be here today, and I'm more excited to talk about VIP, Veterans and Procurement. Just a little background on myself. I retired from the Army back in 2000. So I've hit that point in my life where I have been out longer than I was in. So I am one of those, and since we're primarily a military audience here, I'm one of those old farts. So, but with that, with the gray hair and everything, like I always say, comes mistakes, comes, I learned how to do it a better way, comes experience. So if any of you all have any questions outside of this presentation, please reach out through Melanie, or I don't know if my information will be shared, but I'm happy to talk to anyone, and I'm always excited to talk to veteran entrepreneurs, or vetrapreneurs, as we like to say. But anyway, VIP is, where am I pointing this? Okay, here we go. Down. There we go. Okay. VIP was really the first program in the country set up in the way that it is to train veteran entrepreneurs on how to do business with the government. That's where they started. And when you go to their class, like Melanie said, it's intense, very intense. And it's like drinking through a fire hose, but you come out with a lot of information. And if you can think of it like you go in like a clear glass of hot water and they steep the tea bag in it. And when you come out, you have a nice cup of hot tea. You get a lot of information. It is of no cost to you. You have to pay to get there, but once you get there, everything else is covered. It's at a really nice facility in Maryland, in Rockville, called the Bolger Center. It's been renovated over the last couple of years, so there's like hotel rooms, cafeteria, everything is on the campus, so you don't have to travel. You just have to be like if you were going to college or something like that. You just walk to class, back to your dorm, go have dinner at the cafeteria, lunch, and it's really nice setup. It is a official SBA program, and a lot of the grant money that the head of the VIP is a woman named Barbara Ash, and I'll just refer to her as Barbara. Known Barbara for 20-something years. Wonderful, wonderful leader, experienced. She really understands this space, and she gets a lot of her funding through the SBA and then, of course, through corporate sponsors to make all this happen. It is designed for the C-level in your company. So if you are the CEO, the COO, the CTO, that's where it is, because the intent is to give you that high level leadership knowledge that you can then take back and talk to your company and help put all those things you learned into action. There are 6 programs. When they first started, they started with VIP Start, and it was designed for entrepreneurs who want to enter the federal space. And it was all the basics of contracting, basics of some accounting, basics of marketing. And you got to interact with other small businesses, and you got to interact with the government speakers that came, who will basically end up being your customers. So it's a real nice atmosphere because it provides you that intimate contact that you're looking for. From there, it went to VIP Grow. So you had to go to Start, now you go to Grow. So the concept is your company is starting to take off on the runway. So now you need a little extra guidance and help on how to do that, because growth is scary. Growth is, if not handled right, growth is dangerous. All I can say is learn how to grow your company the right way, because there is such a thing as too fast, too soon, and you can outgrow your resources real quick. So you need to learn how to grow your company, which is what that is. Advanced, you're done that, you understand how to grow, and now you're poised to take off. That's what the advance is. And the courses that come with that build on what you have done in the other 2. After we did that, I got involved with Barbara on the next 3, which is first one was the international. It's like we have entrepreneurs that want to do business outside of the US, and sometimes your government job, projects or contracts require you to have a reach back internationally. And I helped build with her and a group of really smart people, build a curriculum for international. And that's been a very successful program. After that came Aerospace. And we looked at all the sectors and where businesses were growing into and where the government was expanding its need, and it was in aerospace. So we built a program that addresses that. So when you come into it, the assumption is you've done at least one of the 3 of the Start, Grow, or Advance. Now you're going to come into aerospace, and you're going to learn how to navigate in the aerospace environment. It is a very particular, a very risk-averse, a very quality-driven. As I like to tell people, it is rocket science at some level. My own company, we have had contracts with NASA, with Lockheed, with Boeing, with BAE Systems. All of those have their very particular set of requirements that you need to understand and know. And that means maybe getting additional certifications in quality, like ISO 9001, like ASI. There's a cereal box full of those certifications. And as the leader of the company, you determine which ones you want, and you can learn about how you can apply those, or even how you can set yourself up to go after them. The newest one is VIP started off, like I said, focused on the federal government. But in today's moving economy, everything is going at super speed. We noticed that there were a lot of students that attended that were also doing a lot of corporate business. So again, we looked at where can we provide value, and that was doing a class that mirrored the federal side, but now it was focusing on corporate America. Business is business at the foundational level, but corporate America moves a little differently. It moves faster than the government sector. Some of the requirements are different, and some of the requirements are less. So corporate gives you that nice leadership, high-level view on what you need to do to be able to navigate in the corporate space. And all these programs are 3 days, 27 hours. Right there, nationalvip.org. That's where you start if you're interested. nationalvip.org. You go there and you can submit. Classes fill up quick. So if you're thinking about it, I would go ahead and at least look at the schedule. And I think we have something on here. It gives the schedule. We'll come to that. The graduates. 80% of the graduates of VIP are SDVOSB. MBEs, 61%, women-owned 21, 8A 13, and Hub Zone 13. It is veteran-driven. That's the V and the VIP. But the others are also what they are plus veteran. So if you're a woman-owned, veteran-owned business, you go to this and you can actually start to look at where the pieces fit and what you need to do strategically to position your business to move forward to the next level. 8 years average in business, 15 employees. So far, they've had 3,200 graduates. And when you see how much money has passed through these companies, it's going to blow your mind. $44 billion have gone through the companies that have gone to VIP. If our government had $44 billion, they probably could open back up tomorrow. But that's how much money the government invests in veteran companies. $44 billion since the program started since 2010. That's a lot of money, and that's a lot of bragging rights for VIP. The big thing is you get to leverage a very good supportive community. The people you attend that course with, again, coming from a military background, it's like going to boot camp. And you've been to boot camp at any service, you make friends. You come together over a common experience, and those 3 days, 27 hours of intense of curriculum, you're going to get to know the person to the left and to the right of you and probably behind you and in front of you. You're going to get to know who they are. And I have made connections and friends that kind of surpass the business side. They've become real friends. And, you know, at the CEO level, you don't have a lot of people you can go vent to. They always say venting goes up, it doesn't go down. So who do you vent to in your company? Well, you can call up one of your VIP buddies and go, hey, I got this issue, I got this problem. I really don't need a solution. I just need somebody to just listen to me. And you can get that with this group. I've done it. It's there. They have all sorts of programs that follow on, which is why they've been able to hit the 44 billion. There's you get access to the instructors. They make themselves available to you. They have programs that do matchmaking. We have teamed up with other companies that we've met at VIP, and we've teamed up and gone after business together because, again, during that experience, you get to know who they are, and then you get to really understand what their business is, and you get to understand how yours and theirs can fit together to go after some mutual business. What do the government agencies get out of this? Well, they get ready to go veteran-owned businesses. About 2 months ago, the federal government redid, the SBA, I should say, redid their distribution of contracts. They kind of took minority businesses off the table. They kind of took women-owned businesses. They took them down a little bit in terms of percentage of contracts. They upped service-disabled veteran-owned. The pie did not change size, just the slices. Veteran-owned businesses are considered very valuable to the government right now. So position yourself accordingly, and they get to know you're ready. If you're in that program, there is an expectation that you're ready to go to work. Prime contractors. When you're starting off, and you'll learn about this either the hard way or you can learn about it through VIP, sometimes the best way to break into the government is not to do it yourself, go in as a sub. But where do I find a prime that I can work with? You're gonna find them at VIP. And then the last one, the small business community. Again, it is a community. We veterans have so many different communities that we can be a part of. And if you're not a part of at least one, then shame on you. they're out there. Melanie's got some great, and I'm sure you'll hear more about what they do here with their programs and things like this. There's VIP. There's a lot of communities you can get into, especially in the business sector. And I think, is that my slides? Okay, no, back up. Okay, I talked about the classes. There they are for the remainder of 25 and 26. nationalvip.org. If you're interested, reach out to them on the website and they will be happy to answer any questions. You can come to me. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have, but there's your schedule. We just finished the corporate last week. We had the corporate, we call it the Joint Forces Forum. Very successful event. We had about 20 corporate allies come in. VIP companies were able to meet with them, find out about what opportunities are out there, as well as attending the corporate class. So it was a good program. It's the second year we've had it. They just haven't scheduled the third one yet, but you can get in and get your space at the table if you want. Some of the partners, just, you know, all the logos here from everybody. There's Lockheed, Bank of America. Novoba is another organization. I'll just give them a quick plug. I sat on their board for a while. They are a great organization that helps connect you to corporate America. So VIP and Novoba partner up to put on the corporate program, but Novoba is your pathway to get into corporate America. But you can do that through VIP and kill two birds with one stone. Again, great companies up here. Some of them you may have heard of, some of them you may not, but they're good, solid, either prime or government companies that are wanting to work with veteran companies. The VIP corporate, like I said, we just had that. These are the founding members of the VIP corporate. Give myself a plug. There's in Data Tech. We were very proud to be a part of that and help kick that off. And you can see there's some really heavy hitters, and all of them are looking to do business with veteran companies. Okay, I think there's a way to ask questions. So if you have any questions, please ask.
I have a couple of questions. When you talk about partnering with the VIP community or with a VIP graduate, can you talk about maybe the database and some of the events, how they reach out to small businesses?
Well, if you become a VIP member, or not a member, alumni, if you attend a class, you get put into their database and they broadcast those to you. VIP does not market to anyone outside of their class. That is part of the secret sauce. If you want access to what they have, you got to go to school, got to attend a class. Then you become part of the network. And the opportunities they send out on a regular basis, they come via email. If they determine that there's a government contractor or prime looking for a very specific fit, they go into their database, they will do the vetting, and then they may reach out to you directly and say, hey, you and a couple others, we're going to put you in front of this organization because they're looking for someone who does what you do. So
thank you. I have more questions.
Sure.
So on the Novoba partnership, what does that look like with VIP? Novoba
partnership? Well, Novoba brings the corporations to the table. VIP brings the veteran companies to the table, and they put them together. So that's basically at a very simplistic level. That's how it works. Before this partnership, Novoba was out trying to connect with companies on their own. And the battlefield is littered with organizations that say they can connect you. There's a ton of them out there. And you've got to do your due diligence and you got to do your vetting to determine there's a cost involved in joining any of them. You only got so much money to go around. So one of my sayings is, if you only have $1 and an hour to spend today, what are you going to spend it on? If you're looking to do corporate business, I would spend it on VIP, because they're going to give you the tools that you need to be successful in that arena. And through those tools, you can connect to Novova and say, I am ready to go.
B, there's a question in the chat.
Yes, sir.
I know you already mentioned it before, but can you explain the cost of attendance?
Well, there is no cost to attend. You just got to get there. That's it. That's your investment. If you start now, if you hitchhike, you can get there by March, or you can take a train or plan, however you get there, but that is on you. That's your investment. Two things you're going to invest: your travel and your time. And then from there, you've got to also invest your willingness and your commitment. The VIP takes care of the rest. So if you can think of 3 to 4 days in the DC area, what that would cost if you do it on your own, that's not a insignificant amount of money to spend. All you got to do is get there. They take it from there.
I'm seeing on eligibility requirements, one of them is in business for at least 1 year. What if you've been in business for a while, but you just formed a new business that is not a year old yet? Is that fine?
Yes and no. If you're registering the current business, yes. If you're registering the new business, it still has to be a year old. If they're aligned, if they're similar and aligned, just go with the one that's been there and meets the requirement. You can always transfer the knowledge yourself.
So are you talking about sole proprietorship and you just formed it into LLC?
Yes.
How you're formed has no bearing on it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We don't care.
Okay. And another question I had is, if you've already been doing corporate, but you want to get better, at doing corporate work, but you're also interested in federal learning procurement that way, would you recommend doing start then corporate or corporate then start?
Start then corporate.
Okay.
Now, I am going to say something. If you're running a business and you're a sole proprietor, you really need to sit and talk to somebody about why you're doing that.
I'm in LLC. Sorry, just this past July. So.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm already registered with SAM as SBO.
Okay. Sole proprietor, when I talk on it, I'm like, why are you doing that? That is not the smart way to start your business as a sole proprietor. Get yourself incorporated at some level. Do you know why? Why do we incorporate our businesses?
Risk mitigation.
That's it.
Yeah.
In case you get sued. It's like, sue that. You can't sue me, sue the company. That's all. That's the only reason we do it. Sole reason we incorporate is to protect our assets, personal assets, because you're going to put time and energy and you're going to dump some of your own money into your company. And if something, I always say it's not if, it's when. There you go. When something goes wrong, you got to have a series of scenarios in your head of, if this happens, I'm going to do this. No different than when you were in the military. We plan for failure. We plan for succession. On the battlefield, if the leader gets shot, does the whole mission shut down? No. The next person in line steps up, moves in, they know what the mission is, they continue forward. That's how we get trained. So risk mitigation, believe it or not, you're experts at risk mitigation. You just got to understand that's what you were trained in. So incorporate yourself if you haven't done so. Yes, sir.
Yes, I've noticed that a lot of this is designed around businesses that are already established, that are already generating revenue. What other programs or communities could VIP help with in like a pre-revenue startup scenario?
A year is not a long time in the business cycle. Yeah. When you start up, a year goes by like that, and then your eligibility is met. The year is there because in that first year, you're still trying to figure things out. You're gonna restructure 5 times in that year because you're gonna go. So I would take that year and focus internally on everything that I need to do once I step outside and I'm ready to face the world. But I'm going to tell you, that year goes by so fast that when you look up, you're going to go, oh man, I'm eligible. And I'm ready to now start my schooling. So, but to answer your question directly, you got to hit the year because we want you to have something to take the knowledge back to. You're going to be given a lot of knowledge, a lot of expertise is going to come your way. You got to take it back to something. So that's why we asked for the year.
Just real quick. So if a company's already in another program, say 8A, or are an established organization who is currently has some contracts, would VIP be a good resource for them?
Yeah, absolutely. Because this is going to teach you how to do what you're doing better. Before we attended VIP, I think we were 10 years old, or about 8 years old. And when we went to that, and it wasn't only me, it was some other C-levels in the company. We came back and go, man, we wish we'd known this like before, because it would have saved us a lot of heartache and actually would have saved us some money. So yeah, if you have contracts, that's even better because now you have something to bring the knowledge back to and apply it.
Can you talk a little bit about the new programs that you helped create, the aerospace, international, corporate, and tell us how they're...
Yeah, and they were Barbara's brainchildren. She had the vision of this is what her community needed. She just asked a group of us to get together on a curriculum committee off the board, and that's where we started. And we just looked at our own experiences. All of us on there had experience in aerospace, international, and corporate. And we had a mixture of government partners and a mixture of corporations or aerospace or international companies. So we came together and we just developed a curriculum around best practices of what are the customers looking for, a international based company or a aerospace based company or a commercial based. What traits, qualities am I looking for as the customer for those VIP grads to bring to me? And that's how we built the curriculum around it. So there's really no razzle dazzle. It's just, it gets down a little bit into the weeds of, like, for instance, in aerospace, it really delves into the quality and risk that because if you think about aerospace in a simplistic form, it's stuff that flies. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of risk in stuff that flies. Whether you're at the very end of the supply chain or you're at the very beginning, it doesn't matter, because what you do back here, it can impact what happens here. And so the bulk of that course is making you acutely aware of what that is. Corporate, again, they kind of give you the differences. You're used to government business. This is how corporate is different. And international, same thing. What's the minefield look like? What are the traps? What are the things I need to be aware of if I'm going to go into the international market?
No question.
Okay, so other than being a veteran, what other requirements, and 1 year thing, what other requirements must one attain before attending the VIP?
You got to be committed, and you got to want to be there. That's it. It's like any educational program. It's like any college class that you go to, postgraduate. You meet the requirements. You got into the school. Do you want to be here?
Yeah.
That's what they're looking for.
Does one need to be SAM registered?
If you're going to do government business, you got to be SAM registered. Mm-hmm. Now, there's a little trick to that question. You don't have to be SAM registered to do government work. But if you want to get paid for your work, you got to be SAM registered. So the government's like, you want to do it for free? You don't need to be SAM registered. But you want to get paid, you need to be SAM registered. So the answer is, yeah, I would be SAM registered.
Any chance I can find veterans to partner with that already graduated the program?
Yeah. Attend a class.
He's not a veteran.
You're not a veteran. Oh, okay.
He's a local procurement.
Got it. Contact VIP and tell them I am looking for veteran companies, and here's some opportunities that I have, and that's what they'll do. They'll help network you into that population. That's how they got to 44 billion. It's through people like you. Yes, sir.
One last question for me.
No, sir, go ahead.
A lot of veterans businesses I've noticed are service oriented. Like my wife and I's business is a service oriented business. What other, government procurement and, government contracts are not necessarily directly tied to those things. Are we still going to get benefit if we send, if I go for my wife's business and a service oriented business, like a small business?
Yeah. When I started my company, we were not a service business, but we morphed into it. So we have a combination of services and products. But end of the day, everything we do is a service. There is you know what a SaaS is? Okay. Software by itself is software. When you put it to work, it becomes software as a service, right? Everything we do at the end of the day can be qualified as a service because you're doing it for me to help me. It is not like walking into 7-Eleven and picking up a pack of Skittles and you pay for it and walk out the door and there's no support on how do I open the package? Or what do I do with this if you didn't know what Skittles were? But when you get that Skittles through a veteran company, you're going to be taught how to open it, eat the red ones first because that's the way you do it. That's the service part. And your culture, what service were you in?
I was in the Air Force. You're talking about the service.
I know, but what branch of the military? Air Force. Air Force. Okay. I'm going to bet that you went in for the most part because you felt a call to duty and a sense of service. That's why we did it. So when you take that culture, this is why people love veteran companies so much. You take that culture of acts of service, selfless service, and then you put that into a business model. Oh my God, that's the best thing around. So no matter what you do, you're going to be offering a service, just like you did when you were in uniform. It's kind of hard to separate it and kind of put it in its own bucket. It's part of the culture that you grew up in, you came from, and now you're extending that culture into the business world.
Maybe if I can add, the government buys a lot of services, right? If you look at services, that is a big part of what all governments procure. So I wouldn't say I can't do government contract because I have a service. I think it depends what you do, but the government buys mostly what people sell. There's very few things that they don't buy. So I think you can't just say that.
We sell a lot of product in the aerospace, but we're providing a service at the same time because it's something they don't have to do. We deal with the vendors. We deal with the quality issues. We deal with the delivery. That's the service part. The product is the product at the end of the day, but how did it get there? What the supply chain, moving it through the supply chain is part of the service in products.
I wanted to ask a follow-up question.
Yes.
So in your company in data tech and you're 20 years in business, back to David's question, partnership. How have you partnered with non-veteran businesses, or how would you tell veterans to partner with non-veteran businesses?
To me, it doesn't matter what you are. Is it a fit? Do we have similar goals? And at the end of the day, are we going to make some money? I will partner with veteran companies when I can, when it makes sense, just like the government's going to engage with us as veteran companies when they can, when it makes sense. They're just not going to hand a contract to you because you're a veteran company. And we never lead with the fact that we're a veteran company. When we market, it's what I call an oh, by the way. We lead with our value proposition. We lead with what we do, our past performance. We show this is what we can do and our pricing. And then when they're nodding their heads and they're going, okay, this sounds good, we go, oh, by the way, we are a service-disabled veteran-owned company. So it's not something you lead with what your business is about. So for me, partnering, it's the same way. I will partner where it makes sense and where I can, but it's not a requirement.
I have another question.
Sure.
As you're looking at the programs for VIP, and you mentioned you took it 10 years in, if you were to give us a timeline for the sequential sequence of attending the courses, what would you say? So from start to grow to
Well, it
advanced?
was all laid out there. If you want to make the time commitment to do this, I would start with start.
And then how many years?
Oh, you can go to the next. Let's go back. Okay, I'd start with start. Let's go to the schedule. Let's say you started with start next week. You could hit, if you have the time and the ability, you could hit grow in November, or then just hit grow in May, and then we'd have to wait till the next advanced class. Basically, it comes down to the scheduling, and if there's room. These classes fill up like that. So if you're interested, what I would do is at nationalvip.org, once you get in, tell them I'd like to go through a sequence of these classes as quickly as I can. They will help you with that scheduling and get you in. I think that's great if you have that kind of vision and you can commit the time.
Is there not a revenue requirement for the grow and advance options? No? Okay. Okay.
Well, Bede, we want to thank you for an amazing class today.
Okay, this is really weird for me because I'm not getting this group. For those of you who can't see, I've got a group in front of me, so I can read the body language. The rest of you, I have no idea if y'all are sleeping, watching Netflix.
They're taking notes.
They're taking notes.
They're
Okay.
taking
Or
notes.
if I were you, I'd have AI take everything for me and then read it later. But thank you all for participating, and this group right here. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much. We offer you a little gift
Okay.
and appreciation for our launch of vSource, a community hub of resources for the veteran and military connected family want to start and grow their businesses.
Well,
Here in San Antonio.
Here in San Antonio.
Here in San Antonio.
All right.
And thank you. And we're going to break for a word from our commercial sponsor.
Well, before that,
You're coming, right?
we're going to grab a photo with Brianna over
okay.
there. So.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Melanie. Thank
Stay
you.
connected.
Yes, let's do that. And anytime you all need
Let me grab this.
someone else, let me know if you're short of speakers.
All right, guys. Lunch should be here in about 25. So just hang out. No, it's not a Geekdom program.